What's up?
What's up?
All right. So today we are talking about, I don't know why I just ran out of voice, but today we're going to be talking about our move here, our journey here. Mm-hmm. It's been a year. Last month made a year for us being like here all together. But you were here. And
well, me and B got here in June.
Yep.
So been here a year and some change.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Hopefully it won't make it too long, but we just like every month that we get through since we've been here, we like, ooh, yeah, we need to share this because first of all, like there's no blueprint for this. Everybody telling us, good advice, but half of it worked. And it's not because they don't know what they're talking about. It's just not working for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's encouragement, story time, information video just for y'all. So, welcome back or welcome if you're new.
Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We had 1,200 subscribers?
1,300.
1,300 subscribers. So,
moving on.
Appreciate everybody that subscribe, like, share, comment, whatever. Keep doing that. The next feed is 2,000. So.
Yeah.
Well, we'll say 1,500. We'll say
no, don't go low.
All right.
2,000.
Okay, got it. Got you 2,000. Gotta reach for the stars. So, yeah.
And we need our watch time up, so we need y'all to be commenting more about like what you want to see, because we want to go live. We've heard like that's the best way to do it. If we don't have a lot of watch time on our video, so we do want to go live, but we want to talk about stuff that y'all want to hear. So let us know.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start it. So how we got here. Okay, so back in 2017, we moved out here. Well, B wasn't around yet, but Bailey was, 2?
Yeah.
Okay, she was 2. So we moved out here. We drove across from Chicago to Vegas. We had a 2012 Jeep Liberty back then. We packed up a little hitch, attached it to the Jeep, and we drove.
You still got video of that?
I think I do. I gotta find it though.
Well,
I believe I do.
We'll attach some video.
Yeah, I gotta find the footage, but yeah, that was something. Basically, what ended up happening, we didn't stay long because money was tight and a lot of other things kind of fell through, and we ended up having to go back home. So that lasted October 2017, and we went back in February 2018. So yeah, literally a couple months.
I'll never forget it because Q passed.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Q. That didn't work out. We ended up coming back to Chicago. Made the most of it.
And we made the best.
We made, yeah, I say, we made the best of it.
4 years.
Yeah, that was, cause,
6 years. My bad.
Was it?
2017, 2018 to 2023.
Yeah. No, that was a great 6 year. Okay, we'll say 5.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, no, that was a good 5 years.
Hold on, babe. If y'all hear the kids, sorry. We've been wanting to record this video for a couple weeks, and yeah.
We was trying to wait till they go to sleep, but yeah, so it was like, okay, whatever.
It's the weekend.
Let's just close the door.
Yeah.
So, but we gonna snap on them when the cameras go off. But anyway, so it was around close to my birthday, 2021, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I had a thought of going back, but
you gotta tell them why though, like, cause you.
Why?
Got
Got you.
10 years.
Okay, so what ended up happening was I lost my job at the airport in October 2021. So for that next month, it ended up dragging for a couple months while I was trying to talk through the union and try to get my job back. It didn't go. It didn't happen. So November, right before my birthday, I came to her and I was like, so what if how would you feel about if we was to go back to Vegas? And she kind of looked at me crazy. It was like, why? So the same thing happened again? So then we this started from there, and then we ended up having this long conversation for the rest of the night, and I told her basically like, last time was on me. I feel like I was dragging my feet, and I feel like I didn't do enough. I didn't do what I was supposed to do to make sure we stayed out there and everything like that. So I was like, okay, a lot of that was on me. And then at the time when it was happening back in 2018, like it wasn't really, I mean, it was money, but a lot of it was me. Cause I just like, I don't know. I feel like I don't say maybe. I got too comfortable. I was happy to be around my mom, my brothers, and a lot of other things. Happy being in a new place, but I felt like I didn't do what I was supposed to do. And I told her, I was like, this time I'm gonna have a plan. I'm gonna get everything sorted out, and it's gonna be better this time. So she was.
Yikes.
That sounds like I need to go see about that. So
okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Fast forward.
So yeah. 2022 comes, and the plan was crafted this way. I had a job set up. I would go ahead, start working, stack up, get us a place, then come back and get the rest of the family. But unfortunately, the job thing fell through, so we end up improvising the plan, and me and Little B came out to Vegas in June 2022. And I had to basically find a new job. Took some time, but by August I had a new job at the airport. And yeah, so September, originally the plan was we all be moved out by August, by mid-August, but when job stuff happened in
No, the original plan was July.
Right. The original plan was July, but because of the job situation, that didn't happen. So it got pushed all the way back to September. Now September came. Me and B flew back to Chicago, reunited with the girls, and then that was when the first part of this move became a little crazy. Well, not a little crazy. It got crazy when we dealt with the moving people.
Yeah, so this tip number one, like when you moving across the country, if you ain't got, I'm gonna say, for a family of 4, if you don't have about 6,000 to 8,000 saved for a moving company, don't use a moving company. Because, and we had people telling us this, they didn't say how much, but they was like, have another stack, have an extra stack. No, we needed like multiple, because they basically was trying to get one over on us. So we had a great moving company. I wish I could find that moving company. The one where they was charging every month but sending it back. Mm-hmm. I wish we could have went with them. But the only reason we couldn't go with them was because just what I said. They wanted us to keep $2,100 in our account every month so they could take it and put it back to make sure that we had our money. Now, I never heard of that before. Mm-hmm. They would take the money for 3 days and then send it right back. And so I'm like, we're in the process of moving, so every penny we have counts. We had 2 individual bank accounts, but it was just like, that's a lot of money moving and coming back. Like, that's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. So they were legit though, but we didn't like that part of it where you like moving, just take your deposit and then take, the rest or whatever. Mm-hmm. But looking back on it, we would have rather that headache than this one, because to this day we still don't have the stuff that's we put on that moving truck.
Yeah.
So that's tip number one when you're moving across the country. If you're gonna move and use a mover, you need to like be able to sit in front of them and talk, or like really know that they're a good company, because we had that company I was telling you about, we had them for over 2 months, and then they tried to take the money out again. It was like, oh well, if you can't, have this money anymore, if you can't have this money available for July, then we don't know what to tell you, we can't move you. So of course we didn't have it available because we were trying to move. Like we both was making about 45K. So combined, that's like 80, 85, take home, maybe overtime, but it was just not enough to be like playing with money like that. So yeah. And then tip number 2 about moving cross country, because from Chicago to Vegas, if you don't have enough for a moving company, and like I said, have surplus, because they're gonna try to be tricky, you need to move your own stuff.
Go it yourself.
Just put it on the truck. Or this what we should use wisdom. We could have hired movers for $300, $400, $500 to put it on the truck, and we drove it ourselves. Yeah. We were just worried about our kids, but we was like, we gotta drive our car anyway. So yeah, this could have saved us a lot of headache. And we wish that somebody was saying this, but nobody was really, just move it yourself. So that's number 1.
That's probably the 2 most. We learned that moving companies is for people that got the money, and like they lose that. It's not, it won't hurt them. It won't hurt them, but because we were relocating to a new place, knew everything, every penny counted, like she said, every penny counted. So yeah, that was, as far as that'd be pretty much it. So anyway, the place that we're in right now, we got out here, August something? Yeah. 25th, 24th, 25th or something like that. And September 13th, we moved into this place. So last week, or the week before last, we celebrated 1 year being here. And I actually found this place, like just driving through the neighborhood, literally. Driving through the neighborhood, saw the outside of it. I'm like, oh, this is nice. So I went into the office, and I was able to get a tour right away. And at that point, I had probably seen a few apartments, and I took B with me. And this apartment in particular, B kind of sealed the deal. It was like, okay, this is our home, because we checked out the place, and I just let him run around. He ran around, and he ran in the room, and he didn't leave the room. I had to literally come get him. So I was like, okay, this is different. So this is our place. Now, granted, because we didn't have our stuff, we basically came in here with the things that we were on the road with, and a lot of other things got shipped. So this place was empty for like a good, was it even a month?
I'll say like 2 months.
2 months? Okay.
Yeah.
But my baby's a magician, because and after that, she was able to find furniture this cheap, TV stand, TV with it, this and our first 2 months, it was cool. We was enjoying it, but because it didn't feel like home yet, because it was empty. So, and after that, she really went to work as far as like, okay, we need to put some stuff in here, this, that. Within a few weeks, we had a dining room table, a new couch, TV, bunk bed for the kids, and this bed we're currently sitting in now. So yeah.
I would say, I mean, this bed, yeah, but this bed didn't get here till May. We just got this bed. But that's because we already have a bed, so we were trying to not
buy a brand new bed because we thought that
we was like, okay, at least by March, number one, we'll have our taxes, and then we could get our stuff. And number two, they still wouldn't be playing around with our stuff. So that's a whole nother video we're gonna have to do about the moving company that we use so that no one else gets tricked. But anyway, but yeah, with that being said, we had air mattress for how many months is that? August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 9 months.
Yeah, there was 3.
Yeah,
because the first one it inflated or deflated. My bad. Deflated. And then the one we got after that, after a few months, that one
hole was busted in it.
Hole was busted in it.
But it was on sale, so I was like,
okay. And then the third one, it lasted all the way up until she found this beautiful bed that we chilling in now.
Off of Amazon.
Amazon. Please do not sleep on Amazon, people. Amazon, I'm telling you, you could fill your crib up just off Amazon and not play an arm and a leg for it.
Yeah, so this was basically a God thing. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, because people kept asking us like, why y'all want to go to Vegas? And the people that knew that we were already here, why y'all want to go back? And we laughed because we didn't really have like a clear answer other than it's what we need to do. And he got the revelation first. Like, I don't know how many of y'all are spiritual or believe in God, but when he tell you to do something and when you tell him you want his will and his way for your life, he started to drop little hints and tell you, you know, okay, so we're going to do this in order to get here. And God didn't even tell me we was moving to Vegas. He told him. And I mean, you see how that worked. Like, he got the hubby shirt on, so that's head of household right there. So, people kind of, I'm not gonna say they were really ridiculing us, but they was looking at us sideways, like
they was looking at us crazy.
So y'all not on the same page? Because I wasn't, like he said, I didn't want to come back here.
No, she didn't.
I was like, it's hot.
Crazy.
It's hot as H double hockey sticks.
She was like, what?
And we live in Chicago. Like, we need to go somewhere better than Chicago. He was like, I mean, yeah, but we always want to go to the West Coast. And he's right, but I was like, yeah, no, that ain't it.
Vegas isn't. It wasn't the ideal place as far as the West Coast.
No,
it wasn't at all. Like, we was California, yeah, we like Colorado, but yeah, no, Vegas wasn't it. But I mean, during that time before, like back in 2021 to really up to now, like I spiritually, I got better spiritually, so started praying more, started reading the word more, was going to church more. So yeah, it was just one day I was like, okay, so what we doing? What am I supposed to do? I'm tired of my family dealing with this stuff, same old stuff, just deal with my job. Where do we go from here? He said, go back to Vegas. So
yeah,
here we are.
I had to trust God through him. And that's not to say like, oh, I couldn't trust God without him, but in a marriage, in a partnership, in a union, you have to remember that God blesses your union. And when he does that, he blesses both individuals. So many scriptures in the Bible to tell you how a marriage house is supposed to run, what's the foundation, and people still get it wrong because of what they think looks right. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this sound right, this look right. Yeah, but it ain't right. And so that's the part where we had to figure out, like, okay, are we gonna follow God for the rest of our lives, for the rest of our marriage, or are we gonna follow what other people think we should do? And we came to the conclusion, it was just like, follow God. And when we did that, you know, like he said, he found this. We had a list of places that, you know, I found a bunch of places, he found some places. None of them places worked out. But I remember, like, once we were here, it was like probably October. I was like, we were driving around. I said, babe, this is the Target we was at in May when we came here, May 2020. We were just looking around.
It's just right down the street from this complex.
Yeah. And I was like, I would love to live in this neighborhood, but it looked rich. Like, it looked too expensive. Not rich, but it looks too, you know, like you got to be well off to live over here.
If you've never been to Vegas, like, one thing that we've learned, like, all the times we visited in the past, and it's just us living here now, like, it is a lot of stuff in Vegas that people probably not even gonna catch because the main attraction is the Strip.
Right.
It is so much more. The city of Las Vegas has so much more to offer, like so much more to do. It's a lot more family oriented since the pandemic. It's plenty to do. You just got to be outside.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, and of course, social media. Like she finds a lot of people that's from Vegas, and they show like these places. I'm like, wait, where is this at? Like, where's this at? Like, food spots and
the hidden
fun,
gym. I'm gonna see if I could link.
It's a lot. It's a lot of things. It's a lot of things that was just, you just had to just really just explore. So this time that I spent, it was just me and B out here, and Kat and Bailey was back in Chicago. Like, a lot of times when I go check out a place, and then I'll just explore the neighborhood and be like, okay, what else can I find? What else? So I was just driving around over here, and then I just came across this complex, and it was just like, wow, okay. And then everybody else, I had to set up a schedule for a tour. I was able to do a tour like as a walk-in. Like, I walked in with my son, and it was like, oh, okay, we can take you to the model right here. We can show you around. I was like, okay. B went in there. He went in his room.
And that's crazy, because even when we came in May to visit, we didn't think we were going to have to schedule a tour, because in Chicago, you don't have to do that. You can walk in, or you go on the website, and it's usually like slots available. So here we are, like, what, a week later?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, we were talking about, to try to pick up where we left off. We were talking about how it's so different from here to Chicago. We were talking about apartment searching and how B was out here about 3 months before we got here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's...
Well, 2 months.
Okay, 2 months. But the whole point in us sharing any of this is to let somebody else know that, like, you can do it too. You just gotta take a leap of faith, and we believe in God. We believe in Christ, right? Mm-hmm. So without Him, we can do none of this. And I think that was the hardest part for us to grasp. Like, how are we gonna do this, and why are we doing this? And both of us heard from God. Sorry to hear, kind of loud and ghetto. But both of us heard from God separately. And then when we came together and started talking out stuff, it was like, oh, okay, that's why He told you that. Oh, He told me this. So, and I mean, and him being the head of household, you know, biblically, the man is the head of household. Excuse me. So he's going to hear some things that I'm not going to hear as the wife. And, you know, that's by design. But God just set us up that way, where I trust Him. Was it hard? Yeah. Did it take some teeth pulling?
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember vividly the phone call. I had talked to my pastor at the time. I had talked to my mom, and I had talked to maybe like 1 or 2 other people that I really trusted and confided in. And I speak to them regularly for spiritual guidance, and, you know, earthly guidance. And I went to him and I was like, yeah, babe, I want to pack it on up, bring it on home, because it don't look like it's going to work, And I mean, this was already a difficult situation. Like, we had never, since we've been married, lived
Hard.
right. So he was already stressed out about that. He hadn't seen Bailey, and I hadn't seen B, so I was feeling guilty. But I was working from home and I was packing, and it was just a lot of high emotions, high stress. But in that day, I'll never forget it. He was like, "So you don't trust me?" And I was like, "Of course I do, but it just don't seem like it's the right thing to do." And he was like, "Well, that's too bad." Basically, so many words. Like, he didn't say it like that. He said it respectfully, but it was some passion behind it, and I think that's what was missing for me. I didn't know what God had told him because B is very closed off when it comes to trying to figure stuff out. And that's not saying like, oh, he don't know how to share things with me and his wife. None of that. It's just he deals with stuff internally, and then he'll vocalize it, and then he'll express it or however you want it, and we'll figure it out. He is getting better with that, but that is not a bad thing. I just had to learn how to adapt, especially in this new situation. So, but yeah, he basically told me what we were gonna do and what we weren't gonna do, and he was like, "This is where I'm gonna go ahead and put my foot down, and I know you worry, I know you stressed, but you gotta trust me." And I ain't like it, because I felt like he was, leaving me hanging, but in fact he wasn't. He was really standing his ground and fighting for his family and fighting for a life that we said we wanted. And ultimately being obedient to God. That was the hardest part for me, because I don't know about y'all, but when God don't speak to me, when he don't answer my prayers, when he don't give me what I ask for, not what I want, but what I ask for, because the Bible says, ask you shall receive, knock on the door shall open, seek and you shall find. I was seeking, I was finding them, but he wasn't answering no question. He was answering it to him. And I didn't know that until I came and just vented about what I've been praying. And he's like, oh, yeah, God said 1, 2, 3, ABC. I'm like, so,
yeah, that was a tough conversation to have, because I did feel like she didn't trust me, and then it was like kind of like the same thing happening all over again, because we've been through this before. We've been out here, it didn't work out, we ended up having to go back home. We was literally here, like it felt like a hot second. It was like a few months, and we ended up having to go back because it just wasn't working out. So this time around, I kept that in mind, and I was like, no, this time we're gonna stick it out, and it's gonna work. Because I felt last time I didn't do everything that I should have done, and even more. But this time I said, no, I want this to really work. We need this change. Like, it was a lot of stuff was going on back home. Although we had a lot more, our family and our friends, our whole life was there. That was home. So that part was tough, but I wanted better for my family. I felt like at the time, being home, being home is home. Home is home. It's gonna always be home. But I always wanted better for my family. And I was always seeing us living somewhere else other than home. Like, okay, we start off at home, but we're gonna end up somewhere else. So here we are. So I made sure this time around that, okay, just do whatever you gotta do. And then, like she said, trusting God, talking to God. I was praying a lot more this time around. I felt
being the head of the household, I really stepped into that role because that's what I'm supposed to do. And I felt the last time I was out here, I didn't do that. And that was another reason why I wanted to come back, because I was like, okay, I didn't do what I was supposed to do as the head of the household. I wasn't acting like the head of the household, so this time around is gonna be different because my whole mentality changed. So yeah.
Wow. That would kill me. I'd just be on fire for like, just catch on fire. Anyway. Okay, so, what would you say was next? We talked about moving company, how like, if you're gonna get a moving company,
make sure you have more than you have a few thousand.
Yeah. Oh.
Otherwise, do it yourself. It'll probably be cheaper or more affordable to do it yourself.
Yeah. Which we should have drove ourselves.
We should. Yeah.
And just hire people to bring it in the house. Moving company.
As far as working out here,
yeah.
So look, you relocating. I mean, just Vegas in particular. Make sure the best thing to do is to get that situated before you move, because you would hate to, because the way the looking for a job, the job market is out here. It's a little what's the word I should use? Slow. I'll say that. It's a very, very slow process, especially if you because that's what I want to do. I had a job. Well, at least I thought I had a job lined up, but unfortunately, that didn't work out. So I had to start over, find a brand new job, which took probably I want to say a couple weeks after we had that conversation. But I mean, after that, it was smooth sailing. But make sure you have your job lined up before anything.
Yeah.
Because that's important. Because like I said, the market is slow out here. They're not really paying attention to your resume, because I know people with college degrees. Well, I know someone with a college degree that works out here, and they said it was difficult for them to find a job right away. But I know back in Chicago, one thing that they look at is how much education did you get.
Mm-hmm.
But out here, that does not matter.
Yeah, it don't seem like it.
It's really more so they really care about your experience. Your job experience, how many years of experience do you have in this, that? If you don't have any experience in whatever you're applying for, you probably won't get the job.
I mean, that's true. I applied for, which I'm about to get soon, a couple of positions in education, and I finally got to talk to somebody personally in HR recruiting. And I did tell them about my background, but I usually leave out my resume that I was a test proctor, and that I did supervise, not just exams, but after school programs. I worked for the Board of Education back at home for a little while, home Chicago. So yeah. If there are some things that you left off of your resume to his point, and you want that specialized job, you might want to make what we've done is make 4, 5, 6 different resumes, just to have that little specialty, because they're looking for that one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought we were good because, like you said, back home you put I forgot to charge it.
Mira ya qué bonito, nos fuimos para allá.